What's going on, Fortnite fam? The Pro-Am Creator Series has been announced. There's more details coming soon. The divisional opens have wrapped up. Who is landing where? What drop spots are they taking? And the mobile series heats have just been announced. There's so much to talk about in this video. Make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe. So let's get right into the mix. First up, the Pro-Am is back. Fortnite Competitive tweeted out Pro-Am Creator Series, community-driven tournaments, details soon. So already we're sounding like a different vibe when it comes to the Pro-Am overall. The last time we had it, it was in NA. We had creators from all over the world bunched up together, and man, that content was a-okay. Let me know what some of your guys' famous moments from that Pro-Am in the comments below. But we also got to follow up because somebody in the comments had asked, will there be a LAN or only online? Smaller LANs, region-based with an eyes emoji is what Fortnite Competitive replied. So it doesn't seem like we're going to get like that major LAN style vibe with creators all over the world and pros as well in one lobby. It seems like it's going to be region-based, which I can see maybe NA, maybe somewhere in EU, maybe somewhere in Brazil. I know that one would probably pop off and be crazy. Probably one of the best ones. I would love to go to that one. But let me know what are some of the favorite duos you guys would love to see in each and every one of these regions. And if you guys think Fortnite should host one in every single one of the regions that Fortnite does have available. I'm for the one that's more the merrier. Why not? Let's see. And maybe it will lead to a Pro-Am Global Championship. That would be crazy. But maybe I'm just wishing too much. Sorry, I'm just getting a little bit ahead of myself. I'm just thinking about the wonders of the Pro-Am and what it can do. But the Pro-Am Creator Series is here. We just need to know when and where these are going to be all across, because now we got FNCS, Reload Elite Series / Esports World Cup, and now the Pro-Am Creator Series. First up, let's talk about NA Central. We'll get the repetitive team out of the way where Peterbot and Pollo get first place in opens, 1,015 points. They get 3 victory royales. They've dropped multiple 30 and 20 plus point elimination games throughout the course of the tournament. 288 eliminations throughout the course of the opens. We'll talk about some of the stats of everybody and who scored the most damage and damage ratio in a moment, but Shadow and Virgo deserve a lot of props. They continue to impress and top of the top side of the leaderboards as well. 956, 3 less matches than Peterbot and Pollo, so you gotta see how that one plays out, but they did get 1 more victory royale with 4 overall. Not how much that matters in opens, but to me it's still impressive of how well Shadow and Virgo have been playing as of late. Taki and Ishu are 917 in 3rd place. Another team, Ishu, him and Dolzier, I was kind of seeing them start to catch fire. They split up, but now Taki and Ishu together and already catching up where I feel like Dolzier and Ishu left off. You got Visuals and Muzz, one of our new superstar teams. They're going to get 4th place already. They failed to break 900 points, but 899 overall, 20 games, so didn't play as much as some of the other teams inside of the top 4, but hey, still impressive. 3 victory royales. They had multiple 10 plus elimination games. Not as high as Peterbot and Pollo, but they're a team that isn't as fancy. They just get the job done, especially since we're going to talk about later the contested fight they got their hands full with. Clicks and Veno, though, is going to be 5th place on the leaderboard. Last week I said it, man, they're just uncomfortable. You know, Veno was playing in a different location. Clicks wasn't necessarily playing with the full confidence of Veno, knowing that he might be distracted, but now they're both there on their ping, on their setups, and already showing the potential of what this duo can do. I said they can possibly win the next FNCS. They just got to be able to kind of pull it off. And I expect, I'm not going to say I know anything because I don't, but I expect maybe some changes to the game when FNCS rolls around, along with some of the duos we may or may not be talking about here. But in 6th place, Hobby and Aminish, Global Championship qualified. So they're going to go ahead and tee up their spot and get a lot of practice in where other teams might not. Slepsy and Wagers, though, continue to impress. I talked about them in the last video. I'm going to talk about them again. This is a team that can put up high elimination games. It's more so getting into the top 10, getting into the top 5s, getting those consistent placements throughout a tournament that they lacked in the past, that I'm hoping that they continue to pull together here as they go ahead and get that top 7th spot. We got Sales and Ver, a little surprise team, but it is opens, and I do believe this team has a lot of potential to kind of break into the mold. Sometimes you could have 2 great players on the same team and it not work out. And I think that's what's been going on with Sales and Vert with their previous duos. Two great players just didn't necessarily work out. Now they're kind of forming together. I don't necessarily know what their roles are, but with placing how well they placed already, you got to expect their potential and ceiling to be high. Jace and Chance. We talked about Jace, you know, not qualifying for a FNCS finals, but going to the Summit LAN. Chance was at that Summit LAN as well, so they do have a lot of experience. They just need to be able to kind of pull it together in these tough finals lobbies. I want to see Jace kind of have a impressive year. Summit LAN, FNCS finals, maybe qualify to globals. This could be his year. Number 10 on our list from across the pond, Scroll continues to impress along with Zany to 798 points. They also pulled off 4 victory royales, just showing like, hey, we don't necessarily need eliminations with this ping difference. We just need to play consistent. Rise and Curly, 11th place. Rise is somebody I feel like still has it in him. He just needs that duo, that meta, that opportunity to impress. He barely missed out last time. I do expect him to put up a good fight in FNCS and potentially qualify for the global championship. I might be wrong, I don't know, but it's someone that I do feel like still has it in him, and I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, to see him qualify for the global championship. Pablo and Kiro did make it in all the way from EU as well, but Kanata and Sphinx, their first showing, it was Victor V and Sphinx last time. Now it's Kanata and Sphinx. This is the actual duo. They did make it in 16th. They're going to be contesting Shadow and Virgo. We'll talk more about the drop spot later. Reet and Cooper in 17th, and then 18th went to Higgs and Curve. New duos again like Booga and Braids continue to get into the top 20. I don't know how many teams I missed out, but we do have Cold and Rapu, Jargu, Carillion. We do got one of the best NA West teams in the Central Finals as well with Phoenix and Retro, but enough about talk about where they placed. Let's get right into the map. Clicks and Veno uncontested at Lifty Lodge. This one's kind of weird with the glider drop, how teams can contest. It's not a straight 50-50 like if you remember Acorn and Bolts, Josh Niamzo, or even Peterbot and Poyo that did try to land up there where it was kind of straight 50-50. With the glider drop off, if one team gets the other mountain, the other team can kind of just go a little bit forward and just drop straight down and hit one of the houses below. So the AR are going to be uncontested, so no worries there. Josh and Iamzo uncontested at Wonky Land. We do got a contested fight though, potentially over at the Battlewood. 3 teams, Lee and Veer, that might not be involved, and then you got Higgs and Curve against Agers and Ritual. More times than not that I've personally seen this fight, Agers and Ritual did get the best of Higgs and Curve. I do think they are going to get the best of them here again. Agers and Ritual barely making it in 40th place. They missed out last week, so I'm not sure what's going wrong with them. A slow start for them since the Summit LAN, or even since Championship Sunday, but I expect them to kind of get things together with FNCS rolls around, taking a little bit more serious. Higgs and Curve, on the other hand, I'm not sure. I'm still not sure what to think of this team. I feel like they kind of lack that experienced leader, that person that can kind of take control of situation when things go wrong, when tournaments don't go their way. How do they kind of pull themselves back up into it? But they are 2 impressive players, to say the least. But if anybody can figure it out, hey, it might be them. Continuing looking around the map, though, we got King and Craze uncontested at Calamari Canyon. They had a chance last week, a run. Craze going toe-to-toe with Peterbot as solos in the end game. Peterbot, though, outlasting Craze, taking the overall divisional finals last week. I expect them to kind of pull up and give us the same show this time around, but Curly and Rise right next to them are being contested by Scroll and Zany, another team I mentioned. I'm just hoping that Curly and Rise realize they're contested by an EU team and hopefully play a little bit aggressive. You know, don't take these chances lightly. 6 games, you can't really mess up. You can't really split the loot in these split drops, or at least not as well as you can if you do got a POI. So I want to see Curly and Rise maybe actually take the fight and win it off spawn more times than not. Peterbot and Poyo, as you guys know, uncontested at the Sinister Strip. Kanata and Sphinx, I said that one against Shadow and Virgo at the Heatwave Harbor. We did see last week where they did kind of split sometimes against Victor V and Sphinx, and then they fought other times, but then it ended up in a 1v1. They split their ways. Both teams got their reboot, so I do expect something similar out of that. We got Taki and Ishu versus Yuggers and Sharkman. Honestly, that whole South western part of the map so overly contested. Some of the fights will end quick, but if any of them disengage, you got to be careful for those. G-Money and OSID do get uncontested towards the south side of the map. Cold and Rapid also uncontested. Hobby and Aminish, Scare and Queasy also uncontested. I talked about the best NA West team in the game right now is Phoenix and Retro. They're in the map just north of a triple contested fight at the coast. We got Jargu, Carillion, Reet and Cooper versus Visuals and Muzz. This one between Visuals and Muzz, Jargu and Carillion, they did find ways to kind of split it last week. They did fight it out as well with a triple contest. This one kind of has me scratching my head on that one. Reet and Cooper have the least to lose out of this entire situation, so I'm interested to see how this entire thing plays out. Booga and Braze contested last week, contested again against Boogie and Rogue. Not sure who they are too much, but Booga and Braze, they did kind of catch a little bit of a hot streak last week. If they can continue that momentum here, you got to expect them into the top 10, potentially into the top 5 as well. Electro and Ulk, as we continue to go north, they got the island to themselves, so they are going to be uncontested. So can I looking at this leaderboard, man, you got Acorn and Bolts also uncontested. Victor V has found his duo with Paper. They're going to be landing kind of center of the map, just below Scare and Queasy, right next to Acorn and Bolts. Not a ton of loot there from my experience, so I'm interested to see how they kind of play out and where they get their overall loot strategy from. But just like I said, looking at the map, I'm excited to see how this one plays out. Acorn and Bolts uncontested. Peter Bot and Poyo, Cold and Rapid, Clicks and Veno, King and Craze. Those are, you know, you got to think of the instant top 5 at the top of my head, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. When it comes to Central, this one is looking stacked. It's definitely going to be a movie. And who do you guys think is going to win this week? Or maybe just give me a top 5. Over on to NA West, though, even though I do think Phoenix Retro probably one of the best NA West teams on the game, I still think that #1 spot is up for grabs. You got Cyclops and Lights at the top of the leaderboard this time around, 983 points, 5 victory royales throughout their 2 days. Pretty impressive, to say the least. Next up, you got Slixies and OCs. You got 947 points. Timco and Larcos. This Timco guy, I keep hearing from so many different people that he is next up. He is the next Peter Bot on the NA West type region, kind of the arc to take over that throne of the crown. I did know he played with Fly in that last year, so I'm interested to see how he plays with Larcos. They have been consistently at the top of leaderboards, not only in opens, but the divisional finals as well, so I'll continue to have my eyes locked in. 3 victory royales with that 941 points, 185 eliminations, some of the highest on NA West throughout the divisional opens. Then you have Gino involved in 4th place, and then you have Phoenix in Retro in 5th place. Again, I'm calling them the best team in the region, and they're in 5th place on the leaderboard. Again, it is divisional opens, but it just goes to show that, A, not your top spot is guaranteed. Then you have Hiding and Mopping at 811. I think it is Hiding. It's Baba Booey is his name. But then you have KJ and Ash. KJ is somebody that almost qualified for the Summit Land. 800 points, 2 victory royales throughout the tournament. I just want to go back and talk about Gino and Evolve. They had 6 wins throughout the tournament overall. To me, that is super impressive. Then you got Suds and Hearn, Salco and Z-Link in 9th place. Salco and Z-Link has a lot of mechanical prowess. It's just that consistency. Again, I think everybody at NA West kind of runs into that same problem of consistency. Then you have Wolfie and Hazens. I do believe this is a Brazil team, or at least from Argentina, or at least one half of them are. They did make a top 10 in NA West. Brazil is an ultimate fighting team. I'm kind of impressed to kind of see them when I watch them in person and online, so interested to see with the ping differential what they can do here in the finals. Then we have Fly and Peepotron, 24 and Craze. I'm not sure if that's the real Craze, but then in 12th place you have Void and Craze, Mez and Tubbs, Malo and Quantiz. Not sure who they are, but I'm interested to keep learning. Ratgun and BG is going to round out the top 15. We do have a couple more of our NA Central players in the mix, like Reet and Ritual team together. We have somebody that I kind of known from the stream making it in. It's a name that you guys are probably not familiar with, but Jerry and Bond kind of making it in at 703 points. It's his first FNCS divisional finals. So again, I'm interested to see everybody and their story coming into this year. Let me know who you guys have your eyes on in the comments below before we break down that NA West drop map. When it comes to the NA West drop map, it feels like there's a lot more contested fights, interesting ones, but we'll talk about the uncontested ones first. Timco and Larko's uncontested. They can threat for that top spot on the leaderboard, especially if we do get a good portion of the North zones, because they do got some players around them that are contested as well. Thoric and Beastie, uncontested. Raygun and Blood Gangsta, uncontested. The south side of Battlewood, I say that kind of lightly because you got Baka and Pars, Virgo and Bolts going head-to-head on the north side of the Battlewood. That could spill over. Who knows, or maybe they could third party and interrupt that fight, but uncontested fights continue with Salco and Z-Link at the Sinister Strip, Source and School at the Heatwave Harbor. You still got Cyclops and Light, the first place team in the opens or on the south side of the map overall, and then you got to continue to look at Slixies and OC at the Golden Grove. Phoenix and Retro get uncontested Frosted Flakes. Let me know in the comments below what you think of that name, Frosted Flakes. Hopefully I don't get too used to that and accidentally say it on the broadcast. But when it comes to uncontested fights, Epic Whale and Pump are contested. On the map, it does say XX and Ivy. I'm not sure who they are on the leaderboard, but that's an interesting contested fight. I mentioned Virgo and Bolts versus Baka and Parge, which could spill over and add Raygun and Blood Gangsta. You have KJ and Ash versus Void and Craze over at Calamari Canyon. So Craze is going to be playing two regions, which means the early portions means KJ and Ash might be uncontested to start the tournament. Who knows how that one will continue to shake out. You have Hazo and Ollie versus Clouds and Skix. You got Sane and Gavix versus Gino and Evolved. Lukey and Nathan versus Cops. And you see on the south side of the map, Ark playing this week with B-Dog instead of Lacey, going to be contested against Scare Bear and Jez and Jerem. And Scare was kind of somebody who had a 4.0 plus damage ratio in opens, which kind of surprised me when I looked at it. Didn't necessarily see every single one of his games, but that stat alone is pretty impressive. Up-and-comers, first-time finalists Jerry and Bond contesting the team from Brazil, Wolfie and Hazens. Hopefully I said that right, and if I didn't, please let me know in the comments below. Correct me if I'm wrong. Leone Fishy and Flash versus Hilly and Youngin. I've seen Hilly and Youngin perform well in certain instances before. If they can pull that same type of motivation here, maybe they could pop off. But let me know in the comments below when it comes to NA West. Who do you guys think is going to place top 5? Who do you guys think is going to take the divisional finals overall? Last up, the mobile series heats are out. They had the open rounds on the 13th and the 14th. Now the heats are here, which will lead to the qualifier finals on the 27th. Depending on what my calendar looks like, I might spectate this one and put on a little bit of a show, a casting party, so to say. I know I had one of the players kind of reach out, talk about, you know, getting the players to stream and give the POVs. I want to kind of give them the best possible chance to qualify through the heats with no stress, so I don't want to have them stream that. I can just kind of watch and put on a show through replays, because I really don't know how streaming this mobile thing would even work, how the strain would be on the phone. So I'm just going to probably do a watch party for this on June 27. Twitch.tv/JacobMvPR. All socials are the same, so make sure you guys check them out. And let me know what you guys think about the mobile series in general in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this video. We had the Pro-Am, we had Central, we had West, and we have the divisional finals coming up again. Make sure you guys check that one out. But until next time, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Really does help the channel grow. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Beep, beep.